Hi, and welcome to In Taiwan We Speak, your audio guide to Taiwan's mind-blowing linguistic diversity. I am Alexander Shin, and today we continue our conversation about Taiwan Sign Language, or TSL, with Fanghuai Ku, a TSL specialist and founder of Signing Village Workshop. So, Fanghuai, you've mentioned in a previous interview that you're a CODA, C-O-D-A, child of deaf adults. How has this shaped your identity, worldview, and also what has your relationship with sign language been throughout your life?
I also mentioned, I just like a mixed. I mixed the hearing cultures and the deaf cultures. And so I have two cultures inside of me. Yeah, so because it's interesting, sometimes I see the things the way just like deaf people see the things. For example, like my father's always watch the TVs and they will turn the TVs to mute because my father cannot hear, and so they will turn the TV to mute. And I joined him to watch the TVs, and after 30 minutes, I find out that there's no sounds. And I saw the pictures and the captions at all the times, and just like deaf people, and I just find out, I become deaf people right now, so I'm not hearing people. So sometimes I will see myself as a half deaf people and half hearing people, and especially I like to face, just like deaf people, and I like to see the facial expressions just like deaf people.
Now, one conversation that I've heard is related to masks.
Yeah.
During the coronavirus pandemic, but also before that in Taiwan, quite popularly, I feel like many people use masks to protect themselves and people around them.
Yeah.
What impact does it have on the deaf community?
Yeah, I heard that people complain about that because they cannot see the facial expressions, and because the facial expression is very important for the sign languages. Because if you have a poker face, we will not see your face. We don't know this is a question or is this a yes or no. We don't understand what you say, and so the facial expression is very important. So deaf people will ask the interpreter to take off their mask to see their face. Yeah,
that makes sense. I've also heard about initiatives of transparent face masks.
Yes, I saw it before, but still, they say it's not clear. So yeah, they prefer just without the mask. Yeah. If you have deaf parents, you have to do a lot of things for them because they cannot just speak for themselves. So when I was a little young, I always be the interpreter for them to the post office, to the market, and to everywhere. I need to translate for them and just be like a little interpreter for them. So, sometimes people ask me, how do you learn the sign language? I say, I sign it 24 hours a day, and it's nonstop. So, that's how you learn the sign language. But fortunately, my father is good teacher. So I remember the first signs I learned is big and small because I have a young brother. So we have two diapers. So my father just write down the big and the small one and just teach me the big diaper is yours and the small diaper is your brother's. So this is the first signs I learned, I remember.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Now, since you're mentioning your father, I think it's okay to mention, right?
Yeah, sure.
Your father, Gu Yuchan, has been one of the most prominent activists.
My father is deaf leader in this, deaf community in Taiwan. He's the first deaf leader in the deaf troupe.
Theater troupe.
Yeah, theater troupe. Yeah, he also the first one who taught the Taiwan Sign Language in the college. Right now, so many university, if they want to study the Taiwan Sign Language, they will have my father. Because my father just like a dictionary for the Taiwan Sign Language. That's my father.
Your father as well is very active in the initiative that you founded, right? Signing Villages Workshop.
Yes.
I think I've checked one of the databases to figure out a sign for a tiger. I was really curious. And I think it was your father's image where he was showing the sign
yes.
on the dictionary. Could you tell us more about this organization and some of the initiatives that you currently conduct?
In order to promote the TSL and create a deaf-friendly environment, so I found the Sign Village Workshop. Actually, I had a company in United States before, and it's the same purpose as the company in Taiwan. And I try to promote the TSL, so I create so many platforms for the deaf kids and their families, and because I like to combine the TSO educations technology. So I created so many apps and TSO multimedias, and yeah, that's what we do right now. And also we just filmed the documentaries for the deaf elders. So because the deaf elders, they experience with two different periods from the Japanese occupied Taiwans and also the Taiwanese government. So they experience that. So they still have their old signs and their old deaf cultures. So it's very important to save that experience. Yeah. In my company, we use the bilingual theory to create the Taiwan sign language stories. For example, like we use the whole to part to whole theory to teach the story to the deaf kids, especially the 0 to 6 years old kids, so they can learn the sign language through the stories with their hearing parent. So this is my goal of my companies. I mean, we try to create the material for the deaf kids. Yeah, because we trying to focus on the deaf kids, because if they can learn the sign language earlier, so they can sign it well, and the sign language can pass down to the new generations. Yeah.
On this program, we explore not only languages, but also cultures of their speaking or signing communities. It comes without saying that deaf culture, often spelled with a capital D in English, is less understood by many. What are some important aspects of Taiwan's deaf culture that people should be aware of?
Well, I mean, there's a mystery and fact. Hearing people always think that deaf people can lip reading. Actually, they are not.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean, lip reading need to train. You need to get trained. And also, many people think, I mean, deaf people wear the CI, the cochlear implant, or the hearing aid, they can hear everything. The fact is not. Because, I mean, when they, with the CI or the hearing aid, they can just, some people can hear all the sounds, but some people can only hear the high pitch, or some people can only hear the low pitch. The sound is broken. Well, the hearing society, they still have some stereotype. For example, I always call the deaf people deaf mute or deaf dumb. Yeah, in Mandarin we call yaba or inya. This means deaf mute. So, well, I think it's need to stop that because there's a discriminations. That's why I'm in Taiwan. We always say deaf, not the hearing impaired or deaf mute. Yeah.
Signing Villages Workshop sort of strives to mainstream the deaf-friendly solutions, as you put it on the website, right? In your view, how deaf-friendly is Taiwan in terms of infrastructure, in terms of you know, when you have to navigate the city, and also when you need to get your things done?
Well, I mean, from now, I think after they passed the law that recognized that TSO is a formal language right now, so many people learn the sign languages. They know a lot of sign languages. I think this is good because they know the deaf people, they use the sign language, so they can just greeting by sign language, just like thank you or hi, so they can just sign a little bit. I think this is improved right now, but I think we need more, because I mean, for example, like in United States, you go to Starbucks, you can have the screen, the video chat with the interpreter to order that. So in Taiwan, we still need that. And also I think here in Taiwan, the rising people's ideology will be very important, because I mean, if they know more about deaf people, more about the deaf culture and the sign language, they will know how to communicate, how to treat the deaf people. Yeah.
You've mentioned in the previous episode that as a kid you had to translate for your parents oftentimes. How about today? People of your parents' generation who are deaf, will they also have to resort, to the help of those who can translate, or is it better now for them?
Yeah, it's much better. They can apply to the government, and the government will provide the interpreter for them. But for the emergencies, no, I have to interpret for them. For example, like if my father is gets sick, go to the emergency room, so I have to go there and interpret it for him. So, well, it depends, yeah. But, I think this is a lot improved, especially right now on TV. We saw so many sign language interpreters, especially the COVID brief. We have the Taiwan sign language interpreters there. And for my father, yes, this is good. And well, it's just good to provide interpreters in everywhere, just like museum and so many shops they provide the interpreter for them. So that's why we call the government provide the language access to the deaf peoples right now. Yeah.
I think it's not a surprise to our listeners that Taiwan is indeed a country of many languages, right? We have over 20 national languages. How does it play out? Let's say if you grew up in a family that is, if let's say some of your ancestors speak Taiyi and you speak Mandarin,
Yeah.
and then you have to sign. Does it get complicated at some point?
Oh yeah. I have a hard time to switch between the languages. Yeah, because when you get old, your language's window is becomes smaller. Yeah, so I have a hard time to switch that between the languages. Yeah, when I just get used to the Taiwan Sign Language and the Mandarins a lot, and within that environment, so I can switch between that two languages would be easy. But right now, when I switch back to the American Sign Language, I need to think about what is meaning in American Sign Language. My brain need to process about that. Yeah, so for me right now, I have 5 languages in my brain right now. Sometimes people ask me about another languages. I have to think about that. It's just like a CPU need to process it. Yeah.
Right. 5 languages include 2 sign languages,
Yes.
Taiwanese and American Sign Language,
Yeah,
Mandarin, English, and
Taiwanese. Yes.
You would require a lot of computing power for that.
Well, last time I'm talking about my dissertation to my advisors, and I don't know how to say that. So sometimes I will speak out Taiwanese to my advisor, and my advisor just give me that expression, and what did you say? Well, I say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Well, dear listeners, that's Taiwan's linguistic diversity for you. On that note, that's all the time we have for today. Once again, we will be waiting for you next week. In the last part of our conversation with Fanghuai, we will be talking about TSL education and some of the interesting features of this language. Thank you so much, Fanghuai, for your sharing. And everyone else, thank you for tuning in. I've been Oleg. See you next week.